Hey everyone, this is Captain Pan and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk. Let's go ahead and get right into it. There's a lot of episode to talk about today. And welcome back to Let's Talk. Of course, I am Captain Pan actually one half of the Super Paladin Brothers on the Super Paladin Brothers channel. All the link is in the description below for multiplayer channel and multiplayer goodness, all that kind of stuff. And no, this is not a visual inspection of what I'm going to be doing. I don't really like vlogs very much, so you know me quite well. Because some people don't go well with cameras, and I'm not, I'm not exactly a very camera person, but I will put a collage up of what I've actually been, pictures up later on, probably towards the end of the video of, people I've met and also what I've been doing. But really, I think the meat and the potatoes of my attendance at Fan Expo in Toronto, the people of Arcade Regiment will be doing the majority of that, more of that. ProducerGuyPhil, Hamza K, Captain Clutch, and of course Michelle Frank. I can't remember her screen name right off the bat. I'll just put a caption below if I remember it right off the bat. I mean, if I'm reading the card, it says TVC, so I'm a toxic voice chick. I'm guessing that. Michelle, you can actually just kill me if I get this wrong. So, whatever. So what you're seeing here on the script, you're seeing a scene from Super Mario Bros. Wii. So, several things I want to get to in this day. Today is September the 11th, 2015. This is, of course, the two major events going on this day. Of course, the remembrance of the those who have fallen in the Twin Towers, also the Pentagon, and those who have the civilians who lost their lives in Pennsylvania. And I don't think we can forget that day. And remembering back on that day, I was 19 years old, and I was taking my uncle to his place of work, and then in Madison, and now when I get home I heard about the Twin Towers, and it's kind of devastating. I mean, even thinking back at that moment, and how many people have actually lost their lives and such in that tragedy. So that's one of the major events. The other major event is, of course, the release of Super Mario Maker. I will get into that later on in the broadcast. For right now, there's some other things I want to talk about. Toronto Fan Expo. Yes, I did spend almost 4 to 5 days up in Toronto. I've actually met people of Arcade Regiment. First of all, of course, you know him. You've seen him on my channel from time to time, ProducerGuyPhil. I also met up with Captain Clutch, also the Hamza K, and also the toxic voice chick. If I'm Michelle, her name is Michelle, but I'm just saying that's what I know about her screen name. But yes, those are the people of the Arcade Regiment up there in Toronto. They are very nice people. I met them all, and let's just say each of them, I will say each of them have a very unique personality. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to say much because this is my channel, and what I say can actually be the end of our friendship. So I'm just going to actually take I guess the Fifth Amendment on what I'm going to say about their character. I think you've heard about them on my channel on one occasion or another. So, but I more than likely will have each of them each one of them, or one of each on my channel from time to time, because they do know me, you know, through ProducerGuyPhil. But it's not nothing is that definite in this time of day, because given what's going on in my current life, that I'll get to know them anytime more than I am right now. But however, I do want to mention that I want to say congratulations to the Arcade Regiment, the quartet, so to speak, of people there who have successfully put a 24-hour stream raising awareness through suicide prevention. And that is something that I've actually, you know, kind of a person who's been, I guess, sort of related of it in one way or another. First of all, yes, I've actually been through that kind of stuff in my lifetime when I was in my early teens. It's something I don't like to recall very much because, one, it is an embarrassing thing to talk about. When you lose your mind over something that is just beyond your control. And more or less, alright, let me just put it to you this way. If you lose, when somebody tells you something that you know is never true and they'll never change because of it, and that does cause great concern. Alright? I'm a person, I think I mentioned one time or another that I come from a deep spiritual kind of family myself. And yes, I went to church, I went to, you know, Sunday school. I've been through the process in the religious circles before, without a doubt. But other than that, I've actually had a nuance for science, mathematics, also things that might be nerdy and dorky or whatnot. And there was this one cousin of mine who's obviously was so entrenched in her religion, just never would leave me alone about it. Because someone who tells me there's no such thing as the outer universe or space or the ability to explore space or even possibility that, you know, aliens exist of other planets. When you get relatives like that trying to pressure you into thinking that something is not what your conscience tells you, you don't know how to react to that, to be quite honest. Because really, when you have a family, an extended family like that, that it's going to make you feel alone like that, then what do? You know? Yes, I still believe that there is a, you know, outer spiritual God out there, maybe. You know, so what? That's my business. I don't give a rat's ass if any atheist would say something to me about it. No one's going to change my mind about that. But no one's going to change my mind about, you know, exploring the unknown, like space, which is the final frontier in my book. But at the same time, it did push me to the brink, and how I developed my relationships with other people, because people picked on me because of it. And it was really irritating as hell, let me tell you. And I get so tired of people picking on me just because, you know, what my beliefs should or should not be or what not. And I don't care if it's, you know, progressive or conservative or whatnot. No one tells me what to think. I try to be fair to other people. And I know some other LPers that are, you know, religious, and also who have a, you know, who has a side that nerdy side to them that enjoys things like science fiction and video games and everything that is so nerdy. And I try to find those kind of people, and some who are not religious. You know, I know producer guy Phil. He doesn't really think highly of religion and stuff, and which is understandable. But that's his choice, and I try to be fair to other people. And I'm guessing in some instances like that, I do feel kind of alone in some respects because no one is willing to go out with me because of that. And trust me, it's not easy trying to find that significant other who's not willing, or who is willing to go down that spiritual, nerdy path, I guess what you want to say, you know? I mean, it's kind of like one of those things. I have one simple request. It's to have sharks or freaking laser beams attached to their heads. You know, I mean, really. I'm a reasonable guy when it comes to things. But I'm not like that Mr. Dr. No, or whatever his name is. I can't figure out what his name was right at the moment. From Austin Powers. Mini-Me, or whatever you want to call him. I mean, I'm not exactly in the right mind right now. But I'm very glad that producer guy Phil and his friends did that. And I know these people quite well, and they're very good people. And I want to, give a shout out to Arcade Regiment. They formed a group, and it's just kind of starting out. So if you ever take a look at them, check them out and such. So that's that, and I want to congratulate them on their 24-hour stream. And about my thing up to Toronto, I'm really not inclined to talk about it just because it was a great time, and I think the people up there who at Arcade Regiment did a better job at covering Toronto better than I, and can explain it better. I cannot do that. I can't do it as well as they could, or they can, or could, or I guess could now since it's Fan Expo is over. So, having said all that, I'm going to leave that to them. I'm just probably going to, probably put some photos at the end of the video, showing what I got. And I did pick up 2 games, the new Super Mario Brothers for the DS and the new Super Mario Brothers 2. Picked up a Luigi doll, a little plushie there for Luigi. And also, what else did I get? Tons of Canadian change. That's another thing on the list, because I couldn't spend it all when I was up there. Oh, let's see here. Now, I can't remember right off the bat. Oh, yes. And now I can't remember. Oh, silly me. I can't even think right at the moment. You'll see all the things I got at the end of the video, but those are some of the things I did get. And then I'll just leave that for, show. Of course, then again, I met with Jerry Ryan. I got a celebrity photo op, a little picture frame. So I'll just put the the JPEG up on this, with a photo collage at the end. So that's, I'm gonna say about Fan Expo. I'm gonna leave that to them. They covered it. They did it. I had a small part in it because I was just basically to tag along there of the group. I'm just a someone who's in another country who's just doesn't know what the hell he was doing. But I can't describe it. I guess my experience up in Canada, it's that I will say though, they're very much like the U.S. I mean, except I would say in some respects they're better than the U.S. I mean, I think their urban planning is a lot better than the U.S. in several cities that I've been to here in the U.S. I could be wrong because it's Toronto, but Toronto, of course, has 11 boroughs to it compared to New York has like 5. Toronto has 11. The one that I was at, PGP's house was Markham, which it was its own city. It was about the size, I think, maybe a little larger than Madison. You know, with about 330,000 people that I know of for sure. So yeah, you have all these boroughs. You had all, you know, it was very spread out and such. I don't know if I wanted to stay there longer because I really felt that I was missing something up there. I don't know. I feel like 4 days was not enough. And if you want to go to Toronto, 4 days is not going to be enough for you to spend there. There's so much to do. And I wanted to go to Toronto Zoo, but because I am a zoo kind of person. I like to, to study animals sometimes as well. I mean, I go to Henry Vilas Zoo here in Madison, and I'm a big fan of going to zoos and such. So that was one place I didn't go. I sort of wanted to go, but I never did. Really, there wasn't really much else I could have done. I guess one of my folks went down to up to Canada before. They were not far from Niagara Falls, so I guess that was kind of the other thing I wanted to see. But I know they were not far from Lake Ontario either, so maybe another time then we'll go to see Lake Ontario, because I don't think Toronto's that far from Lake Ontario, but whatever the case is. So, anything else about the Fan Expo, I'm going to leave it to Arcade Regiment, because they did a very detailed, comprehensive video on it. You will see that, down, I will put it, I don't know, I asked him if I could put it on my channel, maybe a link to it on my channel. I don't know. I'll definitely do that, but that's about all I can actually do for that. So, my experience, I feel like it's irrelevant. I don't, and it's something else. I feel like it's irrelevant. I mean, I was somebody else, and I was just a U.S. subject in another country, and the feeling I got there is that there was something I missed. I don't know if it was a Fan Expo or whatnot, but I feel like something. I was close to something that maybe was looking for in life. I don't know. It's kind of weird of explaining. It's not something I don't like to explain. Maybe it's something I don't want to explain out of embarrassment, without embarrassing myself. So, whatever the case is, it was a good trip. I met PGP's mom. She, I met her at PGP's old house in Richmond. I think it was Richmond Center. I met her there. I mean, she was kind enough to give me a taxi fare back to the bus where we needed to go to the airport. I mean, I must say though, if you're planning to go to Toronto, make sure you have some walking shoes, a very good, decent pair of walking shoes, without a doubt. Because man, I lost some weight going there. I mean, without a doubt. So, last but not least, I think, well, actually, two things. Well, of course, Super Mario 64, I am actually going to start that Let's Play coming up. That will replace the new Super Mario Bros. Wii on my channel. That will be disappeared. That will be gone forever. I'll keep the videos and unlisted, but the playlist will disappear. Super Mario 64 will take its place. For sure, I have the first episode already made. I will be posting it shortly. So, that's good right there. But lastly, there's a new game coming out called Super Mario Maker. I've heard some pros and cons to this. I'm going to go through what I think, and I will go ahead and get right into it right now, because I really want to get this done within the next few minutes. Of course, for those of you who are in the US, it's about $60. If you're in Canada, it's almost $70. My thoughts of it are, this game, of course, you get it's a Mario design level. I mean, you get to design levels from Mario's 1, 3, World, I believe the Wii U saga, and you get to create your levels. And the thing is about these levels, Nintendo made sure of this, and I did demo this when I was up there in Toronto as well, that when you create a level, you must be able to complete it yourself. You cannot create a level that is not able, is not winnable. You have to create a winnable stage, and depending how you create it, well, you have to beat it once yourself. So that's the condition for that, and you can make it. I guess the pros. I will go over the pros. Creativity is a plus. Okay, creativity is a plus. Most sure. Some argue that this is $60 is a bit too much. I'm kind of not sure about that, because I think I've heard arguments about this, that this is nothing more than a level editor. I would say 50-50, or playing levels other people create, but at the same time, the other half is a level editor. And the complaint I've heard some other Let's Players like John Johnson and Let's Jays, the conversation between them saying, you're spending all this time creating levels, and also, spending other time playing levels other people create. And I think it's a plus of creativity. I think it is a good thing, because it's not being confined to the logic of Mario 1, Mario 3, Mario World, or Mario Wii U, or whatever. I think that's a good thing. I think it's good for retro gamers, because retro gamers look for games like this, something that we can create for our own. Especially from Mario, all the previous Marios. I mean, for whoever has played the current Mario games, like 64 and Galaxy, that's their own saga, because that's the continuing saga of 64, and that's on a different plane, I think if let those games be those games. I do think it is a problem in some respects that you're just spending $60 and you're wasting some money based on just creating levels that may not be as creative as if you are playing the original. That's I think is a debatable topic, because I'm a big fan of the original Mario games. I've never played Wii U yet. I've played it. Well, I've definitely beaten the new Super Mario Bros. Wii, for sure. So, but it's just nothing more than Mario's 1, 2, 3, and World. An enhancement of it. I think it's good to that respect, that it's good for those of us who are retro gamers. If you're not a retro gamer, you might have a problem with this. I mean, that's a definite there, because if you're not a true retro gamer who can, have the ability to create something new and create I would just say a non-original idea, I guess, but that's a good point as well. I mean, this is not an original game we're playing here, and that's debatable too. For $60, we're not playing an original game or original idea. So I guess that's probably what they thought when Galaxy was out, because 1 and 2 kind of are variations of the same, events. It's just they don't share anything. I don't think they share anything that's worth mentioning. So more or less, I think if this were me, I would have probably sold it for $50 US. Not exactly 60, but I would think they would, if they brought it down to probably $50, it might do a little bit better, I think, in the markets. But that's just me because I bought it for $60. So the creativity for this, I think, is the sky's the limit. But, and I think I said this once before, it does create problems, I guess. I know it's, you know, it's, I think when level, I've seen the game itself, playing in Toronto, it doesn't seem, I guess what you call, it's challenging, yes, but I do look at the logistics, and some of the logistics of the game can get a little bit, I guess, say, impractical. When people design these levels, it's like you're designing something that doesn't seem, I guess, Mario-esque, and that can be a problem. So whatever the case is, I think this is going to be a good game. I'll definitely look into LP in it. I don't know. It depends how I really feel about creating these levels, or not, you know, playing other people's levels. It's definitely worth looking into the challenge of it, but it does bother me when I don't have like a real Mario game in front of me. It does tend to have a tendency to get dull really quick sometimes. So I don't know. I'll see about LP in this down the road, maybe. I know some of my friends have already bought the game tonight. I'll look into it once I get the game, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, we'll definitely see. So that will be it for this episode of Let's Talk. Thank you guys for watching. I think in the next few minutes you'll see a collage of some of the things I picked up at Fan Expo, and some of the pictures I've got with the people of Arcade Regiment. So until then, this has been Captain Panelp. Leave a like, also subscribe if you want to see more. Check out Arcade Regiment. They'll definitely have some more stuff, but everything from the ProducerGuyPhil channel will be moved over there. I'm hoping he'll get something more than just, and he will complete a freaking Let's Play. Dummy. Sometime. Well, he actually did, because he did one with me, Super Mario World, which will be coming up later on the CPLP channel. But I'm going to try to encourage him to actually finish his Let's Plays whenever that will happen. So, until then, I will see you in the next video. Spoons! So angry. Okay, whatever. I'll see you guys next time. Yeah.